Okay, it's time for the first mow on the project lawn. I was kind of waiting here a little bit before I mowed to kind of get things a little bit more uniform as far as the appearance looks, but we're getting to a point where some of these better strands of grass here, the Kentucky bluegrass, is sitting up at 6 inches already. So we have to kind of come in and try to start mowing this, try to start getting everything going a little bit and making it all look a little bit more uniform. So my goal here is to train the grass to an appropriate height for what we're doing. I'm thinking about 3 inches for kind of the cool season mix that we have going in there. There's really no fescue mixed in that I can tell, or at least not a large amount, so we don't need to go much taller. I found that 3 inches tends to be the sweet spot for a bluegrass ryegrass type mix. Now if you can push it any taller than that and get it to actually stand up straight, then that's perfectly cool too, but most of the time I found that right around 3 inches works the best there. If you're following along with this project and you have a different type of grass, I just made a video on proper mowing and how to do all that process and how to pick the grass height for different types of grass and all that, so check that out if you're interested and you're not sure exactly what height to mow it at. With mowing, it's extremely important to follow the 1/3 rule, meaning that we don't cut off more than 1/3 of the grass blade in a mowing. For spring and fall here in our cool season lawns, that likely means you're going to have to cut more than once a week if you want to follow that rule. This alone can make a huge difference in your yard, and I cannot stress that enough. How many people I see let their grass get way too tall and then they try to cut it at 2 inches or somewhere around that level, and week by week by week they continue to do this and the grass gets more stressed, more yellow. It just does not work out well. So we can improve this yard here alone by just mowing it frequently and mowing it properly at a height and staying there and training the grass to actually work at that height. So whatever grass type you have, make sure you're mowing it at an appropriate height, but more than anything, make sure you're following that 1/3 rule and make sure that you're mowing frequently, sharpening the blades if you have a rotary mower, and all of those factors are going to make a huge difference alone in the overall appearance. I've also decided to bag the clippings for the time being because I really don't need to return any of these weed seeds back to the ground, so I'm going to pick up this stuff, just make it look pretty clean on these first couple mows, and then from there we'll be going back to mulching or side discharging and putting the clippings back into the ground. But for now I want to clean this up and make it look a little bit better. Okay, so what we have to do now is let everything else match the height of this bluegrass here. So as this thing starts to grow up, we need to continue to mow to make sure we're keeping this at about 3 inches. As it's springtime here, this thing is going to want to go pretty crazy pretty fast. So we need to be out here cutting using this as kind of an example of what we want to keep at that height, and everything else around it will start to get up to that height and start to learn where it wants to be, but it's not very thick yet. We've only done one fertilizer app, so once this starts to thicken up around here and starts to match this height, then everything is going to look much more uniform. So that's a good start there on the project lawn, just with mowing and some mowing tips there for you. So thank you so much for watching this video, and we'll see you next time.